But what the Saudis have done for these last 5 years is, in my opinion, they've started the fire. They have started the fire. And you cannot extinguish this fire now until the fire comes out and devours, drives them to their place of assembly. Nabi Muhammad was passing by and his companions were sitting talking, and he asked, "What are you talking about?" And they said, "We're talking about alamatu sa'a, the signs of the last day." And then he made this statement that the last day would not come, and then he mentioned 10. And these have come to be known as the 10 major signs of the last day. Number 1, and they are not given in the order in which they will occur. There is a big word in English, chronological order, in order in time. We do not know the order in which these signs will occur, but we can use our reasoning faculty. And the first one, therefore, mentioned is Dajjal, Al-Masihud Dajjal. And the second is Gog and Magog, Ya'juj and Ma'juj. And the third is the return of Nabi Isa, alayhi salam, the son of Mary. And number 4 is Dukhan, or smoke. And number 5 is Dabbatul Ard, or the beast or the creature of the earth. And number 6 that the sun would rise from the west. And number 7, 8, and 9, 3 earthquakes. But these are earthquakes in which the earth will sink down and swallow what it swallows. And this is known as a khas. And the plural of khas is khusuf. One in the east, one in the west, and one in Arabia. And number 10 is that the fire will come out of Yemen. And that fire will drive people to their place of assembly for judgment. I like this one very much. I gather the Saudi regime doesn't like this one at all. A fire will come out of Yemen and drive people to their place of assembly. Now then, we have to determine which of these are muhkam and which are mutashabihah. And there is no law, there is no book. You have to use your thinking process. Which one is to be understood literally, and which one has to be interpreted in order to be understood? Let us begin with the sun rising from the west. This is the easiest one of all. Will the sun literally rise from the west one day? Or is this to be understood as mutashabihah, therefore to be interpreted? This is the question. Who will answer that question? Anytime you're looking for knowledge, the first place to search is in the Qur'an. That's right, the Qur'an. You can't go wrong. And in the Qur'an, what does Allah say? He says that the sun rises from the east. Yes? And Ibrahim alayhi salam then asked the king, why don't you cause it to rise from the west? My Lord causes the sun to rise from the east. You couldn't get a plainer statement than that. Why don't you cause it to rise from the west? So from this verse of the Qur'an, we know that the western sunrise is a false sunrise. And therefore this is mutashabihah. The sun rising from the west is a false sunrise. It is a sunrise that will attempt to replace the truth. To replace the truth which has come from Allah. And if I ask you, How old are you? I believe every single one of you will give me your date of birth and your age in accordance with the sun. I was born on the 10th of January. I was born on the 16th of April. And by that I am 30 years of age, I'm 35, I'm 40. Every single one. And you do that because the false sunrise has taken over from you. The false sunrise. When Allah says in the Qur'an that you must count the years by the moon, لِتَعْلَمُوا عَدَدَ السِّنِينَ وَالْحِسَابِ. So you should not be counting the years by the sun, you should be counting the years by the moon. Anyone differs with me? When the truth came to Makkah, Makkah rejected it. Because when you depart from the system of time that Allah has given, it affects the heart. Yes, it affects the heart. What Makkah did was, they wanted the lunar year to synchronize with the solar year. So and they remained with 12 months. Allah gave 12 months, so this year we stay with 12 months for 1 year. But every third year they would add an extra month, so that the lunar year would synchronize with the solar year. And you know what Allah said about that? He said that is the road to increasing kufr, not just kufr. إِنَّمَا النَّسِيُّ زِيَادَةٌ لِلْكُفْرِ. Playing around with time like this and corrupting it. And so only the young people in Makkah, the young ones, accepted Islam. The slaves accepted Islam. But the barons and the lords of Makkah, they rejected. Because their hearts were corrupted. And guess what this false sunrise has done? You'll be surprised if I tell you. The false sunrise has told us that yes, a year is comprised of 12 months. But now, a month has nothing to do with the moon. A month can have either 31 days, or 30 days, or 29 days, or 28 days. Did you know that? Were you aware of that? And guess what happened when we accept that? And we abandon the moon. إِنَّمَا النَّسِيُّ زِيَادَةٌ لِلْكُفْرِ. When we abandon that Allah has given, and we embrace the false sunrise, we are damaging our hearts. This is the false sunrise. I've given you only one example. What the false sunrise has done to the system of time. And I can give you endless examples that the false sunrise has come to destroy the truth. The truth. Okay? And since you are born in Britain, you have an advantage. Since you are born in Britain, you have an advantage over your brothers in Egypt. You have an advantage over your brothers in Bangladesh. You have an advantage over your brothers in India and Pakistan. Because you know this society now. You know this civilization. And you hence are able to understand what is happening in the world. They are living an innocent life. They don't know what, they believe this is heaven. This is heaven. Who wants to go back to Egypt? Huh? You must be crazy. This is heaven. Egypt is hell. Huh? You would be able to go back and tell them, no, this is ziyadatun lil kufr. This is the road to increasing kufr. Yeah? So we do not accept the view that the sun can literally rise from the west, because that would be in conflict with what Allah has said in the Qur'an, that my Lord causes the sun to rise from the east. Why don't you cause it to rise from the west? We therefore say that the sign of the sun rising from the west has to be understood and interpreted. And this is our interpretation. And when you interpret the Qur'an or you interpret the Hadith, you must say, Allah knows best. And only Allah can confirm the interpretation. Number 2, Dukhan. And this is the surah of the Qur'an. Dukhan. And we have to decide whether smoke, Dukhan, smoke, is it something muhkam or mutashabih? Mutashabih. It is to the Qur'an we must turn. Will there come a day when the whole sky will be filled with smoke? Is that possible? What does the Qur'an say? There's one surah of the Qur'an which is different from every single other surah of the Qur'an, in that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeats one ayah 31 times. Which surah? Surah Ar-Rahman. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ is repeated how many times? 31 times. So I really have to be sleeping and snoring, not to be alerted. He's knocking on my head 31 times, and I still don't register nothing. Maybe that was too much biryani I ate. He is alerting us that in this surah there is knowledge you have to look for and search for it. We don't have the time to do Surah Ar-Rahman tonight. But in Surah Ar-Rahman, there is an indication that Allah is going to deal with two people, both of whom are evil. And who are the two? People who reject the truth, people who have no belief in the hereafter, no, a godless people, tukazzibun. And who are the two people? Ya ma'ashar al-jinni wal-ins. They are human beings and jinn. And I think Britain is already inundated with hordes and hordes of evil jinn. Yes, I believe that. Because this country is witnessing the collapse of religion in this country. That church was there for hundreds of years. Generation after generation prayed in that church. The churchyard has a cemetery. And then people stop coming to church. And they stop paying for the maintenance and upkeep of the church. And now around the whole of Britain, one by one, the churches are being put up for sale. Some are lucky that we buy them, but the rest go to McDonald's hamburgers and Kentucky Fried and Pizza Hut and Bingo Hall, and that's where the church is going. And as religion collapses in this country, and people live a godless way of life, shaitan takes over. And when Shaitan takes over in this country, he has his agenda. Oh yes. But when Shaitan takes over in this country, they're going to live like a people who have been driven to madness by the touch of Shaitan. So you can close your eyes and you can say, in this country you're going to have an epidemic of mental illness. They're suffering from dementia. And when one person in the family is stricken with that disease, you don't even know your own children. The whole family, the whole khandan is affected by that one person. You could never leave that person alone. The whole family now is tied up. So what they do, they send it and put it in a home for mentally ill people. That's what they do. This country is falling apart because Shaitan is taking over. This country has done more evil in the world, more evil than most other countries in the world. This country has done it. And there is a huge abundance of jinn here, evil jinn. Yeah. If I had the time, I could have lectured to you. This is Monkey Town. And Allah says in Surah Ar-Rahman, سَنَفْرُغُ لَكُمْ أَيُّهَا الثَّقَلَانِ. Just one small ayah, that's all he needs. I'm going to deal with both of you who are laden with sin. The jinn and the human beings. And when Allah deals with them, this country is gone. This country is finished. And how will He deal with them? نُرْسَلُ عَلَيْكُمَا شُوَازٌ مِّن نَارٍ وَنُحَاسٌ فَلَا تَنْتَصِرَانِ. I'm going to send against you a flash of fire, and it will be followed by smoke. And when that happens, you have no one to help you. Me, I understand that clearly. That's the big war that's coming. And that has to be nuclear war. Nabi Muhammad ﷺ spoke about that war. And he said, you know about the mountain of gold? You know about the mountain of gold? If you don't know, well, you got some homework to do. They're going to fight for the mountain of gold. This is Sahih Bukhari. And he said that 99 out of every 100 who fight for that mountain of gold will be killed. So this cannot be conventional war. This has to be a war using weapons of mass destruction. That's nuclear weapons and thermonuclear weapons. And so I have come to the conclusion that the Dukhan is around the corner. When nuclear war takes place, the mushroom clouds that come from those nuclear weapons will block out the sunlight. Block out the sunlight. And there are differing hadiths on the subject. The Christians have their own views on the subject about how many days there'll be no sunlight, the Christian eschatology. And our eschatology also has some, but nobody touches this subject. I've never come across anybody lecturing on this subject. And so my view is that Dukhan is not to be interpreted. No, it is literal. Literal. There will be literal smoke, meaning the mushroom clouds from nuclear explosions, and it will block out the sunlight. We've done two so far. The sun rising from the west, and we said this is not muhkam, this is mutashabih. We have to interpret it. But the other one, the Dukhan, we say, no, this is literal. This is not to be interpreted, literal. Now we go to number 3. Dabbatul ard, a beast of the earth. Dabba. Dabba is a beast, something that walks. So, if I am to try to understand what is Dabbatul ard, where do I go first? Quran. That's right! That's right! You have to go to the Quran. And when we go to the Quran, it's a very complex thing now. Because there are only 2 references in the whole Quran to Dabbatul ard. 2. And one of them says about Dabbatul ard that when Allah causes this Dabbatul ard to emerge, the Quran was not sent down with punctuation. No. And the Arabs didn't need punctuation. No. The Quran that we now have, an Arab normally wouldn't read a Quran like that, with the fatha and the kasra and the dhamma. But this was put in by human beings. And any time a human being is doing something, he can make mistakes. And here is one. In this one, Dabbatul ard, when it emerges, it says tukallimuhum, that he will speak. Dabbatul ard will speak to mankind. But if you change that punctuation, you can become taklimuhum. The Dabbatul ard would wound you, cause damage to you. And obviously when we look at these 2, this one is the one that is more harmonious with the subject. So you have a problem now with punctuation of the Quran. So now let's go to the other reference, only 2 in the Quran. Nabi Sulaiman alayhi salam is the Khalifa. He is the head of state. And this is a Khilafah state in Jerusalem, founded by his father, Nabi Dawood alayhi salam. And it is a ruling state in the world. And he is a prophet and he is a king. And then one day, Allah chose to test him, give him a test. Or rather, to cause him some distress. And here's what Allah says. Surah As-Sad, I believe. وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّا سُلَيْمَانَ, and we tested Sulaiman. وَأَلْقَيْنَا عَلَى كُرْسِيهِ جَسَدٍ, and we placed a jasad on his throne. We leave the word jasad for a while. ثُمَّ أَنَابَ, if he is seeing someone sitting on his throne, and if this is literal, and you are the ruling power in the world, you are the king, you'll take that fellow and throw him out of the window. What right do you have to be sitting on my throne? Huh? I am the king. He doesn't do that. So this is not literal. This is a vision. Allah is showing him a vision. ثُمَّ أَنَابَ, and he turns, he recoils from this vision with repentance from Allah. Scared. قَالَ رَبِّ اغْفِرْ لِي وَهَبْ لِي مُلْكًا لَا يَنْبَغِي لِأَحَدٍ مِّن بَعْدِي. If you want to ask something from Allah, you first ask for forgiveness. It's not that he committed some sin, no. It's just the method that if you want to ask for something, first ask for forgiveness. So you make istighfar. قَالَ رَبِّ اغْفِرْ لِي. He said, "Oh my Rabb, kindly forgive me. وَهَبْ لِي مُلْكًا لَا يَنْبَغِي لِأَحَدٍ مِّن بَعْدِي." And grant that none can inherit my kingdom. And grant that none can inherit my kingdom. In other words, he has interpreted this vision. He's interpreted this vision that this fellow sitting on my throne is a very evil being, and he wants to inherit my kingdom. I don't want that. So I prefer that my kingdom should collapse rather than he should inherit it. Who could that be sitting on the throne? An evil being who wants to inherit Holy Israel and rule the world from Jerusalem as an evil being. Who can that be? Ad-Dajjal, of course. Dajjal. So as soon as he made this dua, Allah accepted the dua. And when he died, Israel collapsed. And from that day to this day, Holy Israel has never been revived. What we have today is an impostor. This was the dua of Sulaiman alayhi salam, that none can inherit my kingdom after me. But there's another meaning to it, that there should never be another kingdom like mine. So even if he were to establish another kingdom, it must not be equivalent to my kingdom. Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam once told his companions at the time of Salatul Fajr, he said, "Last night I had a wrestling match with Shaitan and I overpowered him. And I was going to tie him to the pillars of the masjid. And when you came to the masjid, you would have seen him tied to the pillars of the masjid. But then I remembered the dua of my brother, Sulaiman alayhi salam, and I had to release him. If he had tied him to the pillars of the masjid, then this Islamic state of Medina, this Khilafah state, would then have had a comparable status to that state in Jerusalem. So he released him. When Sulaiman died, however, something else happened. We turn from Surah to Sad, and we go now, I think, to Surah to Sabah. The jinn who were ordered to work for Sulaiman, and who were shayateen, and who were in chains, did not know that he was dead. This is what Surah to Sabah says. And so they kept on obeying someone sitting on the throne, holding on to his staff. The commentators of the Qur'an, many of them say, Sulaiman alayhi salam died while sitting on his throne. And nobody knew he was dead. And we don't know how long, how many years he kept on sitting on the throne, holding on to his stuff, and the jinn did not know he was dead. Until Dabbatul Ard came and consumed ta'akulu min sa'atahu. And this has been translated and explained. And they nibbled like termites on the bottom of his staff. This is what you find in the tafsir. And when the staff lost its balance and collapsed, then the body of Sulaiman alayhi salam collapsed. And then the jinn got to know he was dead. But this is false. If you are the king, don't you have to eat? Huh? Will it not bring food for you to eat? Don't you have to go to the toilet? Huh? This is wrong. If you are dead and you're sitting on the throne, within a short period of time they would know you were dead. So it's not that Sulaiman alayhi salam died while sitting on the throne. No. Rather is that the jinn, everybody knew he was dead. Everybody knew he was buried. The jinn, because they are in another world of space and time and they are in chains, they did not know. And they're seeing someone sitting on the throne, holding on to the staff. And they thought it is Sulaiman. Because while holding on to the staff, he's able to deceive them. But this business of termites coming and nibbling at the bottom of the staff is false. I am not a scholar of the Arabic language, so when I confront a problem, I go to those who are scholars, particularly of the Arabic of the Qur'an. So I went to two scholars. One is a PhD in Arabic semantics, and the other is a PhD in the Quran, the Arabic of the Quran. Two of them. And I asked them, this is min sa'ah. The word for staff is sa'ah, with sod. And this is min sa'ah with seen. What is the meaning of min sa'ah? The Dabbatul Ard comes and they consume the min sa'ah. And both of them told me, min sa'ah is your walking stick. This is the highest caliber of scholarship in the language of the Quran. And they said to me, min sa'ah is just walking stick, stuff. No, I was not comfortable. It was not adding up. And finally, I realized that min sa'ah is not the walking stick or the staff. Min sa'ah is something located in the staff. It is a miraculous property within the staff. That the staff of Musa alayhi salam had it. Throw the staff, it becomes a snake. Hit the rock with the staff and the water came out. Hit the sea and the sea parted. And the staff of Sulaiman alayhi salam is like that. That with this staff you can intervene in the system of time. And you can get images of Sulaiman who is dead. Images of Sulaiman can be presented walking and talking and moving while you're holding the staff. And the jinn were deceived. And they're still deceived up to now. And so, Dabbatul Ard is not termites coming to nibble. Dabbatul Ard is something which destroys. The word ta'akul means to eat, ta'akul, but here it means to consume. It's something which will destroy the inner miraculous quality of the staff. So I'm not looking for some animal walking on four legs. No. This word of use of the word da'ba is here mutashabiha. And my understanding is we are facing it now. The dabba which is destroying the internal heart of the staff is the electromagnetic waves which are now inundating all the cities of the world. In consequence of which you now have this for your motor car, GPS, your wireless computer, the cell phone towers and the cell phone that you're using. You could check it out with your children. Check it out with your children. When a child is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of age, that is the age when the memory is most powerful. At that age, the child can memorize the Quran. And I am coming tonight to tell you that the tomorrow is coming when no child who grows up in the city will ever be able to memorize the Quran. Because Dalbatul Ard, taklimuhum, is damaging the memory. The only child who will be able to memorize the whole Quran is the one who lives in a place where you can't use a cell phone. This is in my book, Dajjal, the Quran and the Jasad. So I have already taken a lot of time. I've dealt with the sun rising from the west. I've dealt with Dukhan. And I've dealt with the Batul Up tree. You want me to continue? Huh? The next three are the three khusuf. The earth sinking down and swallows what it swallows. One in the east, one in the west, and one in Arabia. The geologist is the one who will have more facts at his fingertips to provide you with the information that we are living at a time of intense, they call it seismic activity. And there are many parts of the world which are in grave danger of massive earthquakes. Our subject is not so much the one in the east and the one in the west. Our subject is more concerned with the one in Arabia, the third one. Why? Because this will validate the claim of the Imam that he is indeed Imam al-Mahdi. That a Khalifa would die, and then there will be disagreement concerning succession. And Hizb ut-Tahrir, which is a very famous and well-respected organization, Hizb ut-Tahrir holds the view that because the hadith uses the word Khalifa, it indicates that the Khilafah state will be returned, will be restored before the Imam comes. And my view is different. I say that when Allah's Messenger used the word Khalifa here, he's referring to any king. And in my opinion, it is a Saudi king. I gave this interpretation about 20-25 years ago. And I'm now surprised to see how widely it has been accepted. Perhaps when Salman dies, then Muhammad bin Salman will be crowned as king. And then the British expression is that all hell will break loose in the Saudi royal family, because he already faces stiff opposition, this reckless young man. So the Prophet is saying that a king would die, and then there will be disagreement concerning succession. We don't know how long that could last. It could last for a long time. But during that period of turmoil, of disagreement concerning succession, someone will come out of Medina and hurry to Mecca, and that is the Imam al-Mahdi. And the people will force him to accept the bay'ah, the oath of allegiance, at the Kaaba. As soon as he proclaims that he is himself the Mahdi, we have a problem. How will we know whether this is the real Mahdi or the Mossad and the CIA Mahdi? Because the Israeli Mossad and the CIA obviously would have a Mahdi in the waiting. Yes? So how will we know? I don't think the Shia will be able to recognize it. I think they'll be taken for a ride. But the rest of us have to tell our Shia brothers, be careful. This could be a CIA Mahdi. The proof that he is indeed the Mahdi is not some eclipse and sun. the proof that he is indeed a Mahdi is that an army will come to attack him from Sham. And as that army is coming down and passes Medina on the way to Mecca, the earth will open and swallow that army. That is the third of the three khusuf. And so we say this is very important for us, because this will confirm and validate his claim that he is indeed the Mahdi. Then there is the sun. There is a fire which will come out of Yemen. And we have to decide, is this muhkama or mutashabiha? Is this a real fire, or is this to be interpreted? I am not persuaded that it's going to be a real fire. And I say, if we have to interpret it, then I'm talking about a revolutionary movement which will emerge out of Yemen. And when a revolutionary movement emerges out of Yemen, it will sweep everything before it, as it moves towards Mecca and Medina and Arafat. The Saudi decision to wage war on Yemen 5 years ago was not only a foolish decision, but a reckless decision. And they now realize 5 years later that they have not been able to defeat Yemen. And they are looking bad. And now they're looking for a way out. They're looking for a way out, how to get out. The United States can't help them. Britain can't help them. NATO can't help them. The only person who can help them now is Putin. He's the only one. Because if there is going to be an accommodation in Yemen that allow the Saudis to withdraw without losing too much face, Iran has to agree. Iran has to agree. Then Iran can put pressure on Yemen. And that's what's happening now. Russia is now intervening to try to see what they can do to help the Saudis to get out of the hole in which they are. But what the Saudis have done for these last 5 years is, in my opinion, they've started the fire. They have started the fire, and you cannot extinguish this fire now until the fire comes out and drives them to their place of assembly. So I want to stop here now, because Dajjal, Gog and Magog, and Nabi Isa alayhi salam are big subjects, very big subjects. And I have lectured extensively, I have written extensively on these, so you'll be familiar with them.